See, if I didn't have to have an emergency.
I don't know, man. I feel
Do
like
we have Teague and
that too.
Nick and Nate on? All right. It is 5:30, so I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. I'm Amber Greensky,
Hang on
and
a second, I can't get the sound. Oh.
Sheila, I think you're on mute.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you don't have to pay too much attention to us.
Yep.
We'll try to listen in.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the camera off. Is it loud enough?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I'll just leave it here.
all right. It is 5:30, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. I'm Amber Greensky. I am the AIPAC co-chair presiding over the meeting tonight. I am going to pass it over to the other co-chair, and then we'll just take roll call.
Bonjour, Vidab de Queen de Jnikas. I'm Amber Lightfeather, and I am the other co-chair. So, which way should I go?
I mean, which way do we go?
You.
This way. This way.
I'm Cal and I'm student rep.
Tim Pohl, and I'm a member.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Hey.
Phyllis Cole, also APAC member, but then I also have one more thing to say. I know about our student rep. She just finished up her Nordic ski season, and she placed first in the JV junior high race. So
Congratulations.
race.
Way to represent.
Yeah, and then the week before that, she placed 7th in all conference. And then she also placed 7th in the Corky classic race. So she's medaled 3 times this season as an 8th grader. So yeah, she had a really good season, and yeah, we're proud of her. And all through all of that, she's still able to maintain a 4.0 GPA. So wow. Yeah. So we have some kids doing good.
Bonjour, wakiasa mokin digo, June do dan, yokimi bonding doji. I'm the new coordinator for American Indian Education for the public schools.
Can we do the online people so we don't forget them?
Yeah. Go ahead, Teague. Oh, the microphone is. Bonjour. Bonjour, sorry, we were just introducing ourselves, so it's your turn. Sorry about that. I don't know why my camera or my microphone is turning off.
I think it might be the building. There's not good internet access there.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I'll try and log you guys onto my computer maybe. I don't know. We'll keep going though. So if you want to introduce yourselves, the ones that are virtual, Teague?
Yeah. Teague Goodsky, Title VI Chair, APAC voting member. I'll popcorn to Brenda.
Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. Bonjour everyone, Brenda Goldfine. I am the staff representative on the committee.
I'll go next. Bonjour everyone, Nick Smith. I'm on the APAC committee. Sorry, I've been gone the last few weeks. I had a new little addition addition to our household. I should be back for our next meeting here.
It was Nick, or no, Nick was gonna pop in, I think.
That was Nick. Nate was.
Oh, Nate was the one,
Yeah,
okay.
that was me. Okay, that's just the three of them.
Oh, Nate's not on there. Okay.
Nate was here. He said he was gonna try to hop back on. He thought it might not be happening. He was feeding his kids here. He said he's gonna try to get back on.
Okay.
Okay, Bewitch.
Me? Huh?
Yeah.
Hi, Rachel Cott, parent member.
I'll talk loud. Wife's not here, so she'll tell me I'm talking too quiet. Bonjour, ni waka nini bidabe indigenous cause. Makwa dindo dame. Gamish kwabakang ndunjba. So, from Redcliffe. My English name is Kevin Cott. I have a granddaughter that attends the immersion school. So.
My name is Tori Thrash. I am the out-of-school time coordinator at Lincoln Park Middle School. I work for the Duluth Community School Collaborative. I'm housed at Lincoln. I'm Lenape and Kiowa. I came to just visit and see what the meetings were all about. So thank you for letting me be here.
Bonjour, my name's Jennifer Garbo, and I have a 9th grade son at East, so I'm a parent. Just here as a parent.
Bonjour, my name is Lydia Schinkel. I have a freshman here at Denfeld.
What? Fine. Hi, I'm Don. I'm the JOM chair, and I'm a parent, and I have 2 kids in the district. One 10th grader and one 7th grader.
Good.
My name's Hillary and my son Jameson over there.
I just want to thank everybody for showing up today. Really appreciate everyone's dedication into continuing to show up for these meetings and get this necessary work done. Next on the agenda, we have approval of minutes. Tegan recorded the last one, and we used Otter AI to record the transcription of those minutes. I put them on a Google Doc and sent them out to everybody. And
Were you able to clean yours up?
T cleaned them up. So I have to give Teague a shout out for the work and taking point on that. Did people get an opportunity to read them, or should we table that at this point and approve them at a later date? Anyone have an opinion?
I read them online and thought they looked good. Big watch, guys.
That's not even still loading here.
Well, it should be showing the same thing that you've got on there, even if the website you're not working, or the website's not working there. But
It flickered.
did you? Was working.
What happened? Okay then.
Goes this.
Here's the,
That's got it.
Okay. I'm just working off the one I had done. We're good. If you want to pass that out, that should be fine. They should pretty much be the same thing.
Yes, he's gonna get taller.
Okay. No, and then so the same height.
For the people on the phone, we're trying to think, I think we're trying to pull the minutes up and put them on the smart board. Is that what's happening? Okay.
Yeah, I have all the documents ready up to the screen, but I also have printouts, so
Okay.
we can, if it's not gonna work, we can go by.
I just want to make sure people have an opportunity to thoroughly read them or request paper copies or whatever they need to do to review that.
So while it's connecting, I'm gonna just say a opening prayer. That's how I was raised to do things when we start. We do the smudge and then say a prayer. Miigwech kijamanitu, Juan Mishin Nongam Kagishigak, Chimino Wab Mug Michi Nishnabe, Chimino Nundawak Michi Nishnabe, Chimino Ganunak Michi Nishnabe. Shigot Chimino Wichiwak, Michi, Anishnami, Miigwech, Kijamanitu. So, I worked with a group of elders from the Treaty 3 territory, and they told us start teaching our youth how to pray. And you know, the prayer is not like that. It's to give thanks. There's different kinds of prayers. There's opening prayers. There's prayers to help us in our healing, to help us to listen, to help us to see good things, to help us to talk in a good way, and so that we can walk with others in a good way. So we thank the Creator for that guidance in what we're doing here today. That's what Miigwech Kijamanitu is. That was the prayer. And then we also have different prayers for when we're having feasts, when we're doing ceremonies and all those things. So they told us we need to learn how to do that and teach our little ones, our young ones, and our adults too. So that's why I'm trying to practice the smudge and the prayers so that we can, be respectful to each other in what we're doing, and talking about moving forward to help all of our students in the district and the ones that are, flying somewhere where they are looking, for guidance and for support, and that's why we're here.
Miigwech, Sheila. Go ahead.
Minutes there would be, I think maybe this is just some of the AI. There is a section where we were talking about the Indigenous cohort.
Okay.
And it calls it the Smart Board cohort.
I saw that too, and I was like, well, because maybe we are having problems with our smart board. Okay, so that can be a definite
That's on
language change.
Page 5. It was like Smartboard recommendations and program evaluation. I'm like, maybe we did. And then I'm reading it, and then I'm like, no, they're talking about the Indigenous core.
Good catch.
I was kind of wondering what that was.
That's where like the technology is great, except for
Yep.
it's also good to have human.
Yep. That's why the approval process is necessary. Okay. Hold on.
Eyes on it is important.
Yep. Oh, so you said page 5, 3,
Yes.
4, 5. All right. Sorry.
It's like bottom, like third or so. At first, I'm like, maybe we were talking, right? Like, oh, we're having an issue with the smartboard.
Okay, I'm just gonna search smartboard.
Does it sit here? Oh, you can't see it anyway.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Hello. What's up? Fine. I'm gonna leave it. I said, hey.
All right, well, I am just going to make a note to change that, and then we will make another motion to approve them after that change gets made. Anyone else see anything blatant like that that needs correction? Email me, and I will change them tonight and get that taken care of. Okay, so let's move on to department reports. And I think this is where we would need to discuss the plan, right?
No, this is. Let me open it up. This is from the updates from last year's.
So we spent a significant amount of time on this exact thing last meeting. I believe Anthony Bonds kind of went through point by point. We asked some questions.
Yeah, there are a little bit of updates from that point.
Amber, are we talking about the American Indian Education Plan?
No, this looks like it is the 2023-2024 response to vote and resolution of non-concurrence, what the district's response was and what the current status of our recommendations were.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, they didn't update this one, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that is the same document we looked at last time. I don't think, if there's been no changes, we don't need to.
Yeah, we don't need to. And I'm still meeting with the departments too to get a feel for what they've been doing since this.
Yeah. At this point, they're gonna have a new list of recommendations.
Because we have to present the resolution of concurrence and non-concurrence to the school board this month.
Yes, I believe we had asked for Anthony to get us on the agenda for the 25th. So there's a couple ways we can do this. We just do the vote of concurrence tonight. We do have a quorum. We could do that. That wouldn't be my preference. I would prefer to schedule a meeting next week.
Because these recommendations are not necessarily what we've been talking about for this year.
Exactly. So we will, I reached out to Nate to see if we could use the office that he provided last year at concurrence time. We met there in the Washington Center during the, I don't think it was during, but it would be next week during the winter holiday. Yeah, or winter break or whatever. So we could just kind of discuss the time to finalize that and make sure that space is open. ACO is also an option. They have been very good about allowing us into their space for meetings. So I do have that later on in the agenda to talk about. So I'm just going to move on from that. Next on the standard agenda is our committee member reports. I do have a space for the inventory update at the end of the meeting, but if you want to take this time.
Let Sheila.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's, do you want to talk about that right now, or do you want to wait till the end of the meeting?
I'm just going by this agenda, so I'm kind of lost in what's going on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I think we're at the same spot. We're at the sign and date the bylaws.
I'll take it to the bathroom.
So these are the ones that were posted over the last month. So one problem I have on here, on these as is this number, section 4, terms of membership, number 3, it says, work on voting guidelines and procedures, separate ballots, election officials' responsibilities. As a term of membership, I don't understand that. Like, I understand when we were working on this document, people voted to have clear procedures that the committee approved in the bylaws. So what are those procedures? And are we okay with changing that to just something like voting guidelines and procedures will require approval from AIPAC? Because I guess I assumed Anthony Bonds was working with an election subcommittee to flesh out that language, right? Because I cautioned against this, because it's really the coordinator's responsibility. It's in their job description to coordinate that election. And I feel like that person needs some autonomy in that, understanding their staff, their own limitations, and that type of thing. But what we voted on were specific guidelines and procedures. Are we okay with just a blanket language that says whatever procedure they define has to be approved by the committee?
Well, I feel like.
So what you're saying is we don't actually have any procedures and guidelines.
Right. This is
in there is.
That doesn't mean any. That sentence doesn't mean anything to me. As far as
we don't have any procedures or guidelines at this point.
Yeah.
What section are we on? Oh, the
section 4, terms of membership.
That was, I think, because we've had so many different, over the past number of years, it's been just, there's been so much changes in terms of leadership and staff, and that there hasn't been a consistent process. That I think having a process that, because the committee can make a process and what we would like our elections to look like, the district has to follow that we have an elections process. It doesn't matter who's on the committee, it doesn't matter whether we have a coordinator or we have no coordinator, an election could happen and it could be equitable and transparent, and it's not gonna be, well, we don't have a coordinator, so now we don't have an election, or no one knows how to do an election because we don't have co-chairs, or we don't have, like, just because there's been so much unknowns, that having something written out of like, this is how we would like the district to conduct our elections, versus like, I think kind of what has happened in the past was, we need to have an election, what are we gonna do? Which then creates unknown where
I'm not aware of an election other than last year.
That's what I'm saying, is like, to put out like, every X amount of years, this is gonna happen, because then we could have.
Yeah, we do want that, but putting that in there right like that doesn't really mean anything because we don't have that yet. We need to make that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so she's asking if we should take it out because then we can make one and do it.
Put it in.
Like do a subcommittee
These bylaws
that
say
takes
a change can happen in 10 days once these are adopted. I'm saying this sentence doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I agree with that, just because of how it sits right now, because we do need to do that, but it shouldn't be in here.
I think that sentence was put in there because when we were voting, we weren't gonna come up in that meeting when we were voting on what that looks like is something that would be something where it's like, okay, what do we, that's a whole separate conversation than like voting. And so I think that was, that this is the place for that to be put, like it would be in the terms of membership, it would be in that section.
So
that we as a committee would create that, or a subcommittee.
And then take it out once it's done.
Right.
Right,
And
well-
insert it into that spot.
Right.
So
our families know when there's an election. Maybe they want to put their name in the hat. Or
I agree with having a clear process, but like I said, if we're gonna put this statement here, we have to have those procedures in place, right? Or we write a different statement that says exactly what you're saying in one statement, that these voting guidelines and procedures will be approved by AIPAC. They can't happen until it's approved by AIPAC. So are you suggesting we not sign these because those procedures aren't in place?
No, I'm saying we make it, we create those and then we amend them into it.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But I feel like that was put in there, and then the education plan became more of importance than doing that, because I guess I just don't want that to get like forgotten about, or like, okay, we did the bylaws, we moved on.
I'm going to suggest establishing an election subcommittee right now who will work with the coordinator to lay out those voting guidelines and procedures, and they can bring it to the next committee meeting, and we will immediately put them into the bylaws at that point. Do we have any volunteers to be on an election subcommittee? I have Tim, and I have Lydia, and I have Amber Lightfeather. Anyone else? That sounds great. So we have an election subcommittee. Does any of our online members want to join this election subcommittee?
Yeah, can I still join, Amber?
Yes. Nope, you absolutely can. Let's see. Amber Lightfeather. Tim, you had raised your hand. And Teague. Okay, so the election subcommittee is officially Lydia, Amber Lightfeather, Tim Pohl, and Teague. And we will just keep election subcommittee updates and committee reports at every meeting until we have that process laid out, okay? That's kind of the plan there. I am going to, on the official copy, we'll leave the line in, but strike it out until we have official language to put in there. We have another missing piece, the grievance procedure part. This is again something we kind of talked about. We had taken the grievance procedure out as a separate document and then voted that it should be in this document. It is not included in this document at this point. So the grievance procedure was lifted directly from the previous bylaws written in 2013, reaffirmed in 2017, or somewhere in that timeline. So that just requires that grievance procedure to be basically cut and paste right into this document.
So where is
So, exactly. So the question is, the grievance procedure is not currently in there. I don't believe it's on the American Indian Education page. This is an important part of our process. So, how does our committee want to handle that? Go ahead. Yeah.
Is the grievance procedure different than just the district's grievance procedure, which is to go online and you click the button and then it takes you to a place where you're able to, would this be different?
So in the previous bylaws, you know what I mean, the ones from before my time.
the ones I found?
Yeah, they included a written out grievance procedure directly in those bylaws itself. I think back in September when we were trying to push these through, I put it out so it could be posted on its own, so it's clear, because it is different in that. Hold on, let me just
I
pull
believe part
up.
of it was that when there's issues within the committee, that we try to solve the problems within ourselves before going to the district, because in theory we should be able to do our things within ourselves. If for some reason we're not able to reach a resolution or satisfaction within the committee, then it would be to the coordinator, and right? So like it lays out a process that's not just directly.
I can read directly what it said, grievance procedure. The Duluth Public Schools American Indian Parent Advisory Council shall act as a hearing board for any person or group who may wish to propose any changes or additions or express grievances regarding the Duluth Public Schools American Indian Parent Advisory Council or the ISD 709 American Indian Education Department. So it's a different avenue for parents or community members who object to how our committee is operating itself and how the American Indian Education Department is operating. Any person or group wishing to submit a grievance shall attempt to resolve the complaint in the following manner. Request a formal meeting with the American Indian Education Coordinator within 10 weekdays, Monday through Friday, excluding legal holidays of the grievance. If not resolved, the grievance shall be given a written copy of the school district's due process procedures and informed of step 1. So we do have to understand what the district's due process procedures are, and I am not aware of that. So that is a good question. And then it goes there, it's written out step by step what happens. So after you go to the coordinator, it goes one step up there to which would be us. So if it's not satisfactorily resolved with the coordinator, that complainant can come and request a hearing before this school or this parent committee to attempt to resolve that grievance. If we cannot schedule that in a timely manner, then it's heard at the first meeting of the committee following the receipt of the grievance report. If it's not resolved there, then it would be going into the general district complaint area. A written grievance report shall be submitted to the LEA or local education agency, which would be Duluth Public Schools, which I think would be the traditional grievance. The LEA shall meet with all parties in an effort to resolve it. If not resolved at that point, again, having to, at each step, the complainant has to do another written grievance within 10 days, and then it can be appealed to the school board. There's step-by-step instruction on how to do that, and then after that, it would, the standard procedure would be that go up to MDE. So it just kind of outlines our chain of command and a time frame for making sure this is done, because you cannot file a complaint if you don't know the process.
Which is why I think putting it into the bylaws, because if it's just a separate document that's in another place, then it's like, oh, well, now where do I find that? And I don't know. I think having like all of it be like, this is how we function. This is the processes that we follow, and having it be in one place instead of trying.
I'm good. I just want it posted somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think having it in the bylaws, but then also having it as like a separate clickable link, like on the webpage, having it in both places so it is easy to find.
Okay.
Because if people have grievances and complaints, like, they should be heard.
We already voted that we want this in the bylaws.
Right,
That's already done. It just isn't in this copy that's in front of us. And it isn't in the one on the website. So this is just literally a matter of cutting and pasting something into this document. Are we signing this without the grievance process in this document?
I mean, we can sign this and then make a motion tonight to amend it by you to, and then
Okay,
do that.
I like it.
So we have something that is signed, and
Thank
then
you.
we can make the motion tonight to amend it, and then that can get put in there and then posted, and then by the next time we meet, we can
Yes.
do that.
I love it. Okay.
This one is not back to back, so you
Use this one. Okay.
Could I ask a question?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, if a student is going through things, so is this process also helpful for them? Or do we have is there a separate process in the school district? But to me, it would seem like even if there's a separate process in the school district, American Indian Education should be able to come and help support them, help to advocate for them, help them to be able to articulate what's going on. I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is there?
So, if it's your own child, grandchild, within a school system, you go take your concern to the principal,
Okay.
and then the principal will investigate and do their, whatever they have to do. And then if you're not happy when they come back, and then you can,
Because I think that's part of the problem with a lot of parents, grandparents who've been through a school system. They already know the system, yes, you have to go to this principal, that system is already set up, that they've already had failure in the system, you're not gonna receive justice in the system. So to me, it's just like, there has to be a group that will be behind them to say, all right, we will go to that principal if that's the process. Come to us and we'll go to that principal so that we have more eyes and more people in this instead of just having somebody that is,
I agree with you
Right?
100%, but as a committee, I
Yeah.
can't go to the principal on your behalf.
right.
So,
Well,
I think you coming to our group and
Yeah.
voicing your concern, giving us the information where we can address it and support you.
And I wanna add to that also, the school district does have that, there's that handbook, that student policy handbook. And, like anything, we have, follow the chain of command, and for a family, as a parent, grandparent, or somebody, to follow that. And then, I don't know, maybe there's something that can be done further down the line. But, yeah, it's hard, because most families don't know that there is that handbook. There is a handbook out there for, and it lists everything in there for, things that might, if you have complaints or issues or something within the school district.
Well, I think what I'm hearing is when it's like my child's having some struggles or there's some kind of issues and grievances, like going to the principal of your child's school by yourself is like, it can be intimidating.
Yeah.
And like, am I even gonna be heard? And I wonder if the school has like a liaison, the liaison at the school, or maybe just directly with Sheila, if that's something, if parents are feeling that they're having some issues with their students and they just don't know how to address that or need some support addressing that, would those kind of be the two, like if there's a liaison and if there's not, like through you or through the department, would that be a process that families could utilize?
Yeah, they can definitely, ask for that. But it just depends, you know, if there's something, if there's a communication barrier, understanding barrier, of course you can have somebody beside you when you go into the meeting.
Did you have something to say?
Well,
You go
yeah,
first.
I was gonna say, there's like Lowell, there is no liaison right now. I did not have the ability to get a hold of the liaison when I was reaching out. And there's some significant stuff I wanted to talk about. And there's some significant implicit bias that's happening. And there is a big, like, the kid's being harmed. Who am I going to? I'm here. Because where else do I go? I don't know. The handbook is only helpful for so much, but the system isn't working right now.
Well, you just, I don't think this is the right place, to discuss, you know, the individual, grievances like that, because, the people involved aren't present. They probably don't know what's happening, and we have to follow these protocols, the process. Because we can, you know, get into a lot of trouble because there's education laws, there's, you know, all kinds of things that we're dealing with here. And, you know, this is not the place to do it.
So I'm not able to bring up something significant that's happening as a policy of the immersion program?
I'm not saying, you know, that you can't bring up policy.
Okay.
We just have to follow an agenda. And you know, I feel for your concern, but again, we have an agenda and it's not our place right now to go through policy from a school because they don't have representation here. The meeting is not set up.
Who's Brenda?
We set up a meeting for that specifically. Meetings are set up specifically for that, not at an AIPAC meeting.
So I hear what you're saying, and that is exactly opposite of what the grievance procedure says, is that we operate as a hearing board, and if they're not given a hearing in time, it has to occur at the next, as an agenda item. What you were saying is there's no American, and we only have control when, or not control, but we only have input when it's affecting people on this parent committee and the Indian Education Department. There's no Indian Education liaison at Lowell. So to involve us in this process, if you're not comfortable going to the principal in that school and you're like, I want to deal with an Indian person, that's where I'm comfortable. To involve us in that, you'd have to get that written grievance to Sheila as the coordinator of the American Indian Education Department, because if they're an Indian student in this district, you are responsible for them and ensuring that their needs are being met, that they're, you know, it's in statute, you're that connection to the family, to the home, and between the school. So to get us involved, it requires that written grievance to Sheila, and then she would coordinate a meeting with you, involve anyone who she believes needs to be involved, you know what I mean, from the school district. And you sit down, they do their best according to this process. They will do their best to resolve it. She will do her best to resolve that. And if not resolved, you'll be given a written copy of the school district's due process procedures and informed of step 1, which was submit a written complaint with the American Education Coordinator, who will chair a hearing board to resolve the grievance. If in the case that a hearing board cannot be scheduled, it shall be heard at the first meeting of the committee. So,
Amber, can I interrupt you for a second?
yep, absolutely.
Okay, sorry, I'm so bad at speaking in this committee. I think right now we really do have a valid grievance. Like, this is something that I've had to deal with in the past year, where I thought about reaching out to AIPAC as well, because I didn't know who to talk to. I actually ended up just taking my kid out of the program because I wasn't getting anything. I mean, it kind of, I think the reason the AIPAC is here is so that we can give parents a voice, because a lot of parents in the district feel really disenfranchised and lost and isolated, and this is one of the only places where I feel like they can come and be heard, and it's our job to listen to them, you know. And I don't know what the district processes are, but like, we shouldn't be having a runaround for our parents and our kids. These are our clients. Like, these are the clients of the public school district. So I don't know. I don't agree that people should come and not be heard or not be given resources or not, you know, that kind of bothers me, I guess.
I think, like, I hear what you're saying, Teague, but I think for it to come to the committee first would be if there's a certain, like, staff member or other parent, or like whoever, like, the grievance is about, if they're not here to have like that conflict resolution. In my mind, if there's no liaison, which that's a whole separate issue. If there is not a liaison present, I like reaching out to like Sheila as a member, like someone who is of the school district. Like, if Sheila could coordinate a meeting like with the family, with her present, with whoever that like staff or the principal, so that like the family has support. And I know sometimes if there's other students involved, there can be like student privacy policies that are a part of it. And so I wonder if, like, yes, parents need a space to be heard, and like giving the runaround, it's like, well, you gotta talk to this person and then that person, and right, like it can just be, well, I'm just gonna give up because it just feels like it's too much. Sometimes you get that feeling, but then I think there's a balance between the ability, because like if we had a committee where we did that and we're just parents, what can we actually do about it? We aren't the ones who can go to the teacher, go to the principal. Sheila has that ability. She's the head of, you know, she's the coordinator. She can go to the principals and say, hey, I have a student, we have a family, we need to have a meeting to discuss something that's going on. And then at that point, if it's still not resolved, then it would like get escalated. But I feel like the first step wouldn't be to bring it to the committee, it would be to go to Sheila. In my mind.
Yep, I absolutely agree. Go ahead, Teague.
Oh, I was just saying that I heard you, and I'm considering your viewpoint. That makes sense to me.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. And really, we are advisory. We're policy people, right? So we need to look at the policy, we need to review the policy, and we need to hear how the policy actually is implemented in practice. Pass it around to anyone here to sign. So I think that's where, you know what I mean, that's what, as far as I know, that's what this parent is asking for, is for us to review policy and perhaps make recommendations based on our review of that specific policy. So that is completely appropriate, I think, in this situation. And but there absolutely is a place in due process for AIPAC once you involve the coordinator. And now you know that step, and we can address that. Okay.
I'm not here to bog down your agenda, and what I'm speaking about is just overall all of our American Indian students, right? So like when we're thinking about we're gonna write these bylaws and what you're gonna do, have that in mind, right? Think ahead. How can you influence that system that our kids are in, right? So I know, maybe I just have a different viewpoint of the educational system and how it affects our American Indian students and what it does to them, right? To help them to be successful, right? But I didn't mean to bog down your meeting, and I wasn't trying to take over and off your agenda, but you were talking about your bylaws, and the only other thing I would ask is, you know, from MDE Indian Education about membership. I see you don't have family members, grandparents, that larger community that's also with them children in there who can become a member, right? And to me, this is about community. This is where our voice comes as American Indian people, right? This is where our voice comes in these places, in these spaces, that our kids are going into these educational spaces, right? This is where we have influence, right? So, but you should include that, think about including that larger community of people, right? Because that is who we are here, right? That's who we are. So grandparents should be here, right? Your elders should be here, right? We shouldn't kick them out and, oh, no, you can't come now. You know, we don't, you know, you're not a parent, not a guardian. Oh, you know, we do act like that, right? You know, we're doing the same roles, so let's do that. You know, just a suggestion, and you know, it's just my.
That is a very good recommendation for our election subcommittee to make sure that we are recruiting grandparents as active committee members. I know they're out there, just waiting to be asked to become involved.
I didn't mention my grandkids in the district. I was like,
Okay, so we passed around the current bylaws document to get it signed and dated from all the members who are here. It'll have both co-chairs' signatures, and perhaps it can get scanned in, and the online committee members can do a digital signature. MDDE does allow for digital signatures on things. I see no reason why we can't. So then that can be posted as a complete signed document on the website, and if you have specific language changes, please get them submitted so that we can update those, so that they can look exactly like committee members want them to look with their exact language. All right, we're gonna move on to the Indian State Aid application budget and supplements. Oh, wait, no, on here you have set dates for vote of concurrence and non-concurrence. We can go with that. When do we want our meeting next week? Do we want to do it next Wednesday?
I feel like it.
Thank you.
signed up for JOM.
I mean, depends on what time we're talking. Are we thinking like the same, like what would be vote after school time?
I think it really depends on people's availability. I think last year we did it the standard meeting time. I'm okay. A lot of it, I can't ask if the meeting room is available till we have a date and time. So what works for everybody? I have pretty well open availability. I could do a day meeting. I could do an evening meeting.
I think the evening would be better.
Evening, so like that 5 o'clock time frame.
Yeah, 'cause if you want 8, Nick.
Yep.
I work till 4:30 usually.
You work till 4:30, so you could make it so till like Washington Center or ACO by 5.
And I would prefer ACO just because I recall that room being kind of small, that we were at the
It was a little
Washington Center.
small.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. ACO. I will definitely reach out to ACO first. But if they're not available, it's always nice to have a backup. Okay. So ACO.
If we did Wednesday, I wouldn't be able to get there until about like 5:30, but just because I am in Superior until 5:15 on Wednesdays.
Okay.
So when we have the 5 o'clock, like I could be there. I would just be a touch late.
Okay. So I don't want you to have to be late and feel like you're not included because it's basically a one agenda item. How do you vote, yes or no? Like yes or no? Are we okay with a different date, like Thursday? Does that work better for? Is that completely off limits for anybody's schedule? Thursday at 5 instead.
Thursday they do drum at ACO at 5.
Oh, then that won't work.
What room we wanted, I mean, they do have that side room.
Oh, yeah.
That little conference room in the front.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
we have that little
okay.
conference
Yeah,
room.
'cause
But
the
otherwise,
Palace
we'll be
Center
down
is
there
where
with
they do
Sam at the drum.
Okay.
We'll be down there anyways.
You would be able to do Thursday at 5?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would want to move it all the way to 6 just to give you enough time to get there
No,
if we
I
want to
should
do
be-
Wednesday.
I can just leave Brookston at like. Yeah, I could do 5.
You could do
I
5
get-
on
I
Thursday?
could get downtown by 5.
Okay. Everybody here that works for on APAC, that works for you guys. Online TIG, does Thursday at 5 p.m. work for you for an APAC meeting?
I don't love it because I have class, but I will make it work. I just need to email my instructor. I would just prefer to maybe do that once.
Yes. We should not have to do this again.
What is the date done?
It would be February 20th.
At
My
ACO.
my calendar's opening now.
Okay. Nick, does Thursday, February 20th at 5 p.m. work for you?
I think so.
Okay. Is Nate on the line?
Yeah, I'm on here. Yeah, that works.
That works for you? Okay. Brenda, does that work for you?
Yeah, I said pick a day and let me know and I'll do what I can.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but I will try.
Okay. That's just fine. I think that is everybody's input we can get right now. So we're going to go ahead and schedule that for Thursday at 5 p.m. I'll reach out to ACO tomorrow and make sure we have a space that we can meet. And I will email everybody confirmation of that. Be looking for that in the next day or two. Okay.
Yeah, we can just talk it through.
And then do we want to define who is going to present the vote to the school board?
What time is the school board meeting?
I'm not sure when we'll be included. Okay.
I think they might be 4:30. Can we wait and talk about that when we meet next week?
Absolutely. Okay, perfect. So we're just going to table that. Then now we're on to the program plan review. No,
Yep, that's me.
okay.
All right, so I did some copies here for everyone. Did you wanna use the rubric?
No, I think so we don't have a plan to review until we
Yeah.
review the plan.
But if you have- we
Does
have
that
to go
make
through-
sense?
I think it's easier to go through the rubric so that you know exactly while we're going through the plan. Or, cause look at it.
I've looked at it. I
Okay.
have it.
All right. So made some paper copies.
Okay.
Well, we're just kind of chilling at this point. I want to say, I think the American Indian Education Plan that was written very well. I think it was really robust, and it hit the areas that we were concerned about. So, thank you for hearing and including that, Sheila, in terms of the graduation rates and the comprehensive assessment data. I think it's good to just have those numbers in there so that we know what we're doing is effective or not.
Yeah, thank you.
I thought the plan was pretty good.
Thank you, Teague. And it was a team effort. I did talk to Amber and Lydia, you know, got their input. Just talking to the committee members, some staff, the liaisons. So, you know, this was a group effort and I was listening in the last few weeks, the last meetings, and what you wanted to see. So I really tried my hardest to include all of those areas that you guys had concerns with. It took a long time, a lot of hours, but I think, you know, this is a good plan for us to move forward. And if there's any spelling mistakes, it's because I read through it a million times over and over and it looked fine. And some of the formatting is not perfect either. I just got, because I had to transfer it into a Word document and we use Google Docs. So it kept getting all messed up on it. So, and I just thought, okay, I don't need to worry and spend more hours on it to, you know, make sure it's lined up perfectly. Mm-hmm. And my ADHD and OCD doesn't like it, but at that point it was.
It just has to get on the
it
paper.
just had to-
I guess I didn't notice it.
Okay, so-
I mean, I don't, if I can read it, that's all I care about.
But you know what it did look like, so it bothers
Yes,
you.
yes.
My email's wrong.
Oh,
We have the right
no.
email on there? At least you didn't spell my name Lightfoot, because that happens a lot.
Hang on a second.
My copy only
Page
has
5.
2 people, unless I'm
Pretty sure
missing it.
Anthony thinks that's your name.
I'm pretty sure.
That's just the co-chairs.
Okay, so what is your?
Where it says you and Amber.
So it's
just-
amber.lightfeather
That's just the
at
co-chairs, not the whole thing.
essentialhealth.org.
Health?
Yeah.
So the
One
the
word,
page I'm looking
The
at
back page, I thought you were talking about the front
only
page.
has
Otherwise
Teague
it's
and
not
Tim
going
on it.
So we're missing, cause it was a 2-page.
Mine just has Teague and Tim.
Well, cause there's like this spreadsheet that has everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a separate.
There's 2 pages, but usually it's like the front and back, and it only has the body.
It probably wasn't copied back to back.
Yeah.
So
So it's just
look.
Teague and Tim that are.
Oh, look. Your book there apart.
Teague.
Yeah, you are. So, you have that look. What did you do now?
Because I haven't
You're
been
gonna
shown the
break-
budget.
You're gonna break it. You're gonna break it. I can tell.
The very last page.
What I like
Very last
is
page.
the, when you
Yeah,
were
that's not a
talking
copy.
I don't
area
even have that on.
curriculum relevant to the needs and interests.
Yeah, it must have
Having
a
worked
copy
at
to the back,
Cape,
because it only has the one
which is the
page.
alternative school,
Whenever you look at it online, it
to
has it.
develop these programs that kids can get credit for, right? That the curriculum, you know, we can't write up the curriculum, but you have curriculum writers, right, they're supposed to be. They can write up these different curriculums that kids can, or students can get credit for, right? That would really be helpful.
21,
Isn't
and
it?
then there should be a
That's what,
22 in there.
That's
like
what
if
we
you're gonna
should
do
be
all
supposed-
these land-based learning, get curriculum in there, So that all these kids, students
We
who
have
were
this.
involved in that, they can get
I feel like
credit
if, I
for
feel like
it.
if that's the only
right?
thing that's missing,
That's how you can infuse that, right? And you can bring our culture in, infuse with that
I was
science,
printing them
infuse
off
with that
at
math,
4:30 today. so-
whatever else you're gonna do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get the curriculum written up so they get credit.
Yep.
That's a big win for the kids, right?
Anything they do, they can get credit for. Without we like
Right.
all the support we can give
I
them.
didn't see numbers in here. I didn't see numbers in
That yep. That's.
here. Where is it?
Do we have the budget that goes with this?
Oh, boy.
So the next one is the budget. Here you go, Amber.
I was raised on polka, I don't know.
I don't know.
And I didn't print off the roster.
Going with it.
I think we can see the whole thing. Amber, I did mention that her specific email is wrong, so that needs to get corrected.
Yeah, probably, I don't think I got a couple of things that were sent out. It must have been something like,
See what it is, so much money they're spending.
I ended up having to
See how much
have
money
Andrew
they're
send
bringing in and
stuff.
spending.
Well, how
That'd
much
be better
they're,
than the government.
you see that
how
I'm
much they're
using-
reporting, they're not,
Yeah,
they have a
'cause,
hard
like,
time spending it
Because the
here.
roster
Do
is
they?
an additional,
Going on?
stop, the additional roster is an attachment,
Yeah.
and it is, the one that you connected to that email does have.
Yeah, that's what I said, it was on there.
Yeah.
You must
Is it-
not print it back to back.
Yeah. Yeah, the roster.
You guys are not gonna play
I still haven't got my
Frog
cheaters yet.
because
They're coming in the mail.
Okay.
Use your magnifying glass.
My phone's over there charging, it was dead.
How many students do they have in that
We're
district,
not.
American Indian students?
we don't need
Well, we
this.
fight about that every day.
What's the latest count?
The
650.
state recognizes 649 currently.
Okay.
Is that what's in this?
Mhm.
649?
That's the count that
So
this
what happened to
amount
the
was.
eight, what happened to the 900 and 800 number?
Hmm.
That might be for next year,
Okay.
but I have concerns.
Yeah, we got two different numbers there, I-9 and I-8.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, you know, the safer kids feel, the more they'll want to identify.
Less than,
Right.
less than 100 Title VI and about 100 JOM.
Okay.
So we got those numbers up. But we're working
Well,
on
and
it.
there's a difference of why the JOM numbers are really down, so a lot of students, until recently,
Right.
to be JOM, you had to be an enrolled member. You had to be enrolled, and Title VI was descendancy, but now
Title,
that has changed.
Title VI number is 70, JOM's 100.
So like the JOM numbers are low compared to
Title
like.
VI
when you look at our
dropped down to
JOM
70 recently.
Are like
That might have been after you left.
But then whenever you
They're
go
left
on
with me.
any
I'm just kidding.
That's what you do. You take some with you.
100% of five,
You took some with you.
and five doesn't look right to me. I'm not sure,
That still says
maybe that's
20,000
a
on there.
discrepancy on this one, and this is right, I'm not sure. Does that make sense?
The budget has to match the plan.
Yeah,
So it's
I know,
either
yeah.
5 in the plan and 5 in the budget,
Something is
or,
off on this.
yep.
I'm
Huh?
seeing
How
that
many
it's
kids
not
only
lining
get
up.
20,000?
I'll get 34.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Say,
that's not lining up, for
Probably-
me, and I don't want it.
Probably got a little over 200 grand.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you got.
Because that'll be like red
carryover
flag
from-
immediately.
Yeah, we can carry over.
Well, you might want to keep it in there because you never know what kind of cuts are coming down the line.
We would love to spend it. We'd love to spend like 100 grand right now.
Well, I think that's the insurance money for in case they cut a lot of other programs. that
We're not
you have
insurance,
money.
we just haven't been doing anything with the
I
money.
know, but I'm saying that's like a backup plan, right?
We gotta spend it on the kids though.
Might get somebody
Was the
in,
roster attached?
I'm just fighting to spend it on the kids.
I know, right?
On the back? So it should say,
Don't
American
take it,
Indian
spend it on
Heritage
themselves.
Advisory Committee.
Check it.
Is that what that last-
Now,
That page.
Yeah, and then
I'm
there's,
only a chair.
so, yeah, that's
Can't
what,
vote for everybody.
I guess that's
Can't
what
beat
happened.
Donald Trump.
Dana's gonna come get you now.
It'll be attached to the back
Even though
of
my
that,
name's
but
Don.
it should be separate. The roster should be separate.
why is
and
it
that's
not
all.
Eli?
Okay,
There's nothing missing, it's in here.
okay, all right.
But just double check, I'll go, just go around and double check the roster again. Cause it was sent out and there was a couple,
What's that?
Yeah, send my email.
Okay,
Get that.
awesome.
cause we thought it was all updated. And obviously it wasn't.
You'd be lucky to spend 20.
God, my handwriting's so bad, it could have just been because of my handwriting. Yeah, my name's spelled wrong. Ha ha. At least it's not Lightfoot.
Lightfoot. Isn't that a rapper?
It is.
He played Indian in the cover. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's that one
He's a
too.
folk singer.
Yeah.
There's a
Very
rapper named
disappointed.
Lightfoot though. He played Indian in the cover.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Do you remember
I
that?
know him. He was kind of
Brandon
cute. He
Druck.
looked like Mike Lagarde.
He was kind of cute.
Olivia, what was your name?
Oh, my last.
Okay, I have a question just on the,
Just let's, slow down.
okay.
It's like pushing a car
So,
up the
the
side by yourself.
copy of the aid application that I just gave to you, the actual application only goes up to page 19, and then the ones that are after that, I probably just happened to slip in the roster. That's why there's only 2 pages and some missing. So they don't even really belong in this package.
And then
Because the
beginning
roster,
is separate.
yeah, they're 2 separate documents that have to be submitted. So the roster is separate, the plan is, the application is separate too. So, but we want, to probably go through each area first, and then we can get, go into the budget after, if that would work for everyone. So let's go through area 1. So area 1 is, to support post-secondary preparation for American Indian pupils. Okay, so we're gonna go right into the SMART goals. We don't really have to read, you know, the narrative, I mean, yeah, the objectives and just make sure your information is correct. So there are 3 goals, for supporting post-secondary preparation. So the first one is post-secondary preparedness. They offer ACT, SAT preparation sessions for our American Indian students, along with what to expect during the ACT and SAT testing, and then provide them with practice test taking. Because we know our Anishinaabe people are, you know, don't have that confidence. They're not ready. Most of them, I would say 80% of them, and it goes across the board. So that's what we're going to make sure they have opportunities to do that. And then by the end of May, this year, 2025, students will complete a final questionnaire designed to gather feedback on their experiences, what they found valuable, and how confident they feel with their training that they had to prepare. Okay, question?
Yes. Has any of these ACT, SAT prep sessions already occurred this year?
No, that's why we need to get
Oh,
started.
okay.
And basically, you know, it's gonna be really super busy because we're really gonna be targeting, the potential grads to, you know, we have.
So that's gonna be our priority, making
Yeah.
sure that we're hitting those grads first, our
Yeah,
seniors.
yeah.
Okay, just wanted that to be
Yeah.
really clear that our seniors,
I'd say it's June. A lot of people take it as
It's
juniors.
11th and 12th grade that.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you
Juniors.
take your SATs and ACTs in your junior year because you're applying for colleges,
Right.
junior and senior. So, I mean, people can go to college whenever, you don't have to do it, but that's typically
But our
like,
American Indian students might not have done this yet.
right.
Mhm.
But
because
I
of
think
that.
juniors and seniors, I think
Yeah,
going
we could,
forward,
yeah, we could
all-
include,
yeah.
okay. And
and
then,
then hopefully target.
Because the
Even-
juniors are also the ones that are invited to attend the college fairs
Mhm.
through the schools.
Yeah, that's the age at which they start.
Yeah.
So I assume then it's going to be the liaisons identifying the students to target. Do we have anyone targeting our students in our ALCs and our AEO programs?
We don't have a liaison for those programs at this point.
I think that's what I'm highlighting, that we cannot allow those ALC students to just drop off because there's not somebody
Well,
in
I've been
place to
advocating
support
to have
that.
a liaison to reach that program for some time. and it's just
So,
never happened.
yeah, I mean, if we can identify somebody, because there's not going to be a lot of students in the
No.
ALC, AEO, but they should be
they're there.
given that opportunity, even if it's technically on the coordinator to say, Glockley, I forget his name.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion? about
Yep.
that? Probably working with Jen Larva at this point might be the best way,
Okay. To target.
because she meets with the secondary principals.
Students, perfect.
I would say, I mean, and like some of this is going forward, but like having a dedicated staff that helps our smaller sites, like the residential programs. Like we have high schoolers at the Northwood residential and day treatment programs that there is nobody checking in with them. And while there's not many, like they're there, and when we talk about our students who get disenfranchised, it's the students who need mental health supports, who need those kinds of supports, and like we just they shouldn't get forgotten about. Be like, well, they're not at our regular schools. So I feel like including, I don't know if Jen Larva would be the person that could connect with those students.
So I guess what I'm advocating for is directly under this goal, because the only liaisons who would be meeting with juniors and seniors would be our liaisons at Denfeld and East. So our two high school liaisons would have to identify these students. That should be in here so it's clear who's responsible for identifying these students, and that we will reach out to Jen Larva to identify our ALC and AEO students who we can target. That just needs to be in the plan so it's easy to follow.
We use language like alternative sites, because then that would include the
Yeah.
because then
And
just
also what I
beautiful.
wanna say,
covers everybody.
you know, where kids seem to be getting forgotten are the ones at AJC.
AJC.
They do graduate from Duluth Public Schools. I have attended some of their graduations, and yes, and that principal is Jacob Hinsela.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Can't forget about those.
That's right.
And yes, they have their case managers, within the locked facility, but
So do we know how much these ACT, SAT prep sessions cost?
can I also add, I did mention before about that, for students really, and our families really need to get to know their guidance counselors at the high school. Because the guidance counselors know that if you have a student that is, eligible for free or reduced lunch, you can get that ACT fee waived. Not only do you get a waiver, but you get an ACT prep program that goes along with that. And if they don't like that score that they got, they will pay for one more testing session.
So that could be included as part of the plan, involve the guidance counselors in targeting our low-income students,
because
so that we can get all the services we can.
You're not gonna know that.
Yep, I like it.
Is the learning plan? Because we've talked about the individual learning plan that all the students are supposed to do. Do they do that with their guidance counselor, or do we know who administers that?
I asked, and
My son had that done in 8th grade, so, I thought that all the 8th graders get it over at
And yeah,
Lincoln Park.
that's the board thing, so we didn't include that in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what MDE, James said, it shouldn't be in there, so.
Yeah.
I took
Right,
it
but
out.
in my mind, it's like that would
Yeah.
be that
And
opportunity.
Yes, that's where the liaisons can go into their learning plan and work with the students.
Okay.
That's okay, and that's what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to put it in here.
yeah, no, okay. So I think that would like really flesh out that goal
Okay.
and map it out really well.
So I'll include in there, who is going to, cause I totally forgot that in there.
Yeah.
Who's going to, you know, make sure that this is gonna happen, and it's obviously the whole team, will, you know, the liaisons, myself, the principals, the, you know, guidance,
35th hour this
department,
Unfortunately, I don't think they understand that they're
No,
supposed to be
I
involved
mean,
in
they
this.
have to,
Yes.
Amber, I know you got so much already going on. How about your special ed students?
How about our special ed students?
Right?
In theory, the liaisons should be working with the special, if they're in a school that has a liaison, which at this
Right.
time our high schools both have them, the liaisons, those students are on their caseload or list
Yes.
or, like, so those students are, in
And
theory,
they have case managers.
and they do have case managers, but the liaisons in terms of identifying who's graduating and who's not, the liaisons in the school in which those students are in, they should be a part of this. And I know that JP here at Denfeld, I know that he's heavily involved with the students who have IEPs. I'm not sure what goes on at East, just because I don't have any students over there. But I know at least at Denfeld, like JP is heavily involved with the students who are in special education services and advocates really well for them.
So, yeah, you're absolutely, right, the, liaisons are going into the IEP meetings as well. I was, in one, 2 weeks ago, because one of the liaisons couldn't make it, so I went in. But there was a parent support person in the meeting as well. I forget what they're called. Yeah, so, and they seemed fine. She was asking questions, the parents were asking questions, they could understand, they put it in, you know, regular speak, they didn't use all these big words, and they, each, like the speech pathologist, each one of the people that were, the professionals that were involved in the IEP, were asking the parents, questions, if they understood what, you know, certain things were.
I think just making sure that we're not forgetting our sped students in this process, like they are taking the ACT. What reasonable accommodations are we doing to make sure that they are included in this goal?
And our liaisons, it's written out so they know what they, you know, have to, do, in their roles and responsibilities.
Okay.
So I'll include that, at the end, of that goal. And are we okay to move on to college visits?
Yes. Has any college visits happened already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I only listed two, I listed Fond du Lac and Duluth, just because it was already put in there and some of the, schools have visited them already.
Do we know how many students have already participated in these college visits?
I just had one, I don't know how many students he did take.
Okay.
I didn't get the final report for that one.
Okay.
It was, JP that took, busload.
Okay.
How many has Lexi?
Okay, so the goal is, by May 30th, 2025, all of our American students will be provided with at least 3 opportunities to explore colleges, in particular,
Well, that's why you keep your socks on.
and University of Minnesota Duluth. This goal will be measured by our American Indian students completing a feedback survey after each college visit. This data will be used continuously to gather American Indian students' interest in post-secondary education and improve the program.
Okay, so we've already done a couple of visits. Again, this is a kind of a goal that is just kind of targeting, just by nature of what it is, and it's appropriate, our high schoolers again. So we know Denfeld has approximately, 120 Indian students. And east, I cannot come up with that number.
50.
About 50? About 50, so we're talking about offering college visits to 180 students, because it says all. So we need to know, and MD is gonna want to know the exact number of students you are targeting. When you say the word all, you better know what that number actually is. So it's gotta be all of our American Indian high school students, right, are getting this opportunity because.
Middle schoolers.
And middle schoolers?
I think middle schoolers.
I think we've always included middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that jumps that number probably by 300 more students. We would have to look at what that number is. So now we're saying we are going to do this.
About 180 probably.
You're gonna say, okay, 180.
Because for some middle schoolers, it's like they go on that college tour and they're like, whoa, this is what I want. Gives them some motivation in high school to like do well.
So we have 649 all through the school, Head Start to 12th grade. We're thinking let's just ballpark it, but when you say all, you can't ballpark it. We know the number. We have Mars data. We're going to ballpark that at 360 students just for the purposes of this conversation. Is that realistic? So we don't even know who's been offered it. There's been 2 visits offered. How many students actually got that offer? I don't know if Emma's gotten an offer. I don't know if George has gotten an offer.
Lexi's in the cohort, she gets all the offers.
Lexi's in the cohort, she gets all the offers. I don't know if Cadell's gotten an offer. I don't know if Sam's gotten an offer. I don't know if Natalia's gotten an offer. So if we're gonna say all, that's a lot of work in the next couple of months.
And we could say offered through our 7th through 12th graders that a number of opportunities. I mean, and like what Jane Harstead from MDE had said when we had that meeting, is that only last week, 2 weeks ago? Was that this plan, this specific one, doesn't have to be super in depth because we're gonna have to be writing a new one in a few months.
That's what I'm saying.
So part of me is like, do we, not that it doesn't matter because it does, but part of me is like, do we want to just say, for the purposes of if we don't get this in, we won't get funding, and then when we write the one for next year, we be super thorough, we be super in depth, we do like exactly what you're saying, because we do want to have those thresholds of just like, well, we had 3 opportunities, it's like, okay, JP asked 4 students 3 times, that's 4, right? Like, so we want to make sure that all of our students are getting the ability, but do we realistically have the time today to get this done to the level that it should be? Like, it should be that, but I don't want us to lose funding because it's...
Then it has to be taken out of the plan. We cannot like sit here in this meeting and say, we're gonna okay this plan that says it's gonna hit all students and sign off that we okayed that when we're around here saying that's not realistic.
But that's what the wording says, it says all.
No, what I'm saying, like, do we wanna, like...
I can just take all of, you could say our American students will be, I could put in there our 7 to 12,
will be provided with 3 opportunities?
yeah, the grade 7.
But that still implicates all.
Put a percentage in there. Would a percentage work better? Or
I feel like
Well,
it might be
you
easier.
could put a percentage that would participate. That would be the goal percentage. You know, you could say all, and you could say, we would like to see at least 80% participation, right? That's your goal. Then you don't have to say, well, we got 200 students and.
Because we've already had 2 opportunities,
right.
but we don't know how many students
Right.
that was offered to. We don't know how many how many went. This is only saying offered, and I don't think we've offered it to even close to 100%. And we probably only have time for one more college visit. What are we realistically, like how?
Can I say 2 opportunities? Because
It's not the number of opportunities, it's that all American students will be provided that when
We have to reword this.
I'm
somehow.
excited now. You're talking about maybe sending Zoe to his college, and I'm like, yeah. My 7th graders never around.
You could say there will be an opportunity for middle schoolers to go on a college visit, and then you'll set that up with the middle school students, a bus. You can hopefully send it out to all your middle school students and, cap it at whatever your cap will be. Yes, and then one more opportunity at the high school level will be offered for a similar number. What can our budget support? Part of this is, we want to offer everything to everybody, but what can our budget support? We've already done a couple things that that already lines up in this. I don't know what those costs have been. What is, these goals have to be tied to a budget line item, right? And our budget line items are attached to these goals. There's things that already happened, whether we approve this plan or not. There's things that already happened this year that, just making sure that we keep that in mind, that this has to be realistic, money-wise as well, and that's the purpose of this. This is fiscal responsibility. Like, what did we already spend? Can we spend at least that amount again, and making sure we're targeting, because you want to target those middle school kids, and one more opportunity for those kids who got missed the first time. So taking all out, because we're not gonna do that this year. That's not realistic. And just saying, you could say 4 opportunities will be provided to explore colleges, 3 for mentors, or 3 for high schoolers, because that's already 2 have already happened. Then we have 1, and then 1 targeted towards middle school students, and then make sure that is clearly outlined in the budget, that we are reserving funds for those 2 college visit experiences.
And I think that when we do the one for next year, get super specific, get number, right? Like when
Then
we
we
have
can
more
put
time.
all in there.
Then then we know what all means. Yeah. So this is just okay.
Okay.
Does everyone feel okay about that?
Yeah.
All right. Next one, career exploration, providing our students with.
I can keep going.
Go ahead.
We will be providing our students with career exploration opportunities throughout the school year. American Indian professionals and trades workers will present and share their experiences with our American Indian students, to talk to students about possible positions in the workforce. Students will be given an exit card after the presentation to fill out. This exit card will help us to measure our American Indian students' rated.
Measured how
our
Page
American Indian students rated their experience, and if they came out with a career choice they might be interested in.
Has this activity already been implemented?
No, but we're working with one of the tribal I can't remember it actually. I have it in my notes.
Okay.
Well, if we need
we are working on this to bring in
Okay.
the people.
We could wrangle him in.
I think it's JP who's organizing it, but I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure. But we do need to provide.
If we need a mechanic, I can volunteer. I don't know if he's in here anymore, but I can volunteer him to come in.
A research specialist that could come in.
Are we offering stipends to our presenters, or is this kind of a goodwill effort? What is, again, focusing on the budget, what is the bottom line on the budget? What will this career fair, essentially what it is, an Indigenous career fair, which is really a good idea, but it needs to be tied to a budget line item, so we know, so JP knows what we can do for that. So one thing, and it's basically, it's pretty literally at your discretion. What do you think an event like this will cost?
And I didn't include who's going to.
$500.
$500 will be cookies and coffee.
There better not be cookies and coffee.
Probably 2,500.
But it will, in the action steps, it says American Indian professionals and trade workers will be invited to present their careers and experiences to our students in March, April, and then how we're gonna collect the data. And then it says school staff, American Indian education coordinator, clerical office support, and district leadership will support and expand these efforts to reach all. Well, there's an all again.
There's an all.
There's an all again.
I mean, it's a great goal.
Yeah.
Long term.
We don't want it in this one though.
Yeah, not today.
Yeah.
As
So
far as
I'll
like
fix
just
that.
thinking of what you can tie in budget wise would be like, even if a lot of people come in as volunteers, because our Indian people love to show up for our kids, and they will when we ask them to, but potentially an honorarium for a keynote speaker,
And
or
we'll have to go into the contracted budget to see what exactly we have,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well,
We can talk about the budget.
yeah, but I'm just wanting to make sure that we understand that this career exploration should not, like, events like that have a price tag, even if you do them at minimal cost.
Right.
And we have the budget for it, and we should use it, and that's a great idea, but just making sure that that is super clear.
And I'll add in there as well, who's going to carry that goal out, who's going to be involved in that goal, because I did forget it in there.
Okay.
And it's listed in with the action steps.
Okay, awesome, yes, follow the status.
So everybody okay with that one, area one?
Yep.
I'll make those corrections.
Oh, wait, moving down to the action steps, because this is a question I had, this career exploration software, is that something all students in the district use, or is that something for American Indian students only?
I kept that in there, and I didn't have time to ask, because it was in the other plan.
I questioned it then.
So, yeah, I don't know who wanted this career exploration software.
We talked about this in our November meetings.
And I did see it in the notes. Yeah, so.
We talked about
I thought it
this.
was gonna be okay to leave it in there.
Well, at that point, we were told by Mr. Bonds that because it's something the district already has to provide for everybody, that it would not be coming out of our Indian education fund. So I was very surprised to see it in the budget.
Unless there's something separate.
And if it's something that's only for Indian students, but that's not what was described to us, because I had asked, because of the previous goal being 90%, you know, I asked, well, where are we at with that? How many kids have done that? And they didn't know. And then he said they were moving to a new career planning software. And I asked whose budget that was coming out of, and he said the district at that point. So to see it on here is surprising. And we can pay for a proportion of it.
Yeah.
If that proportion is what's district-wide, I think we're at 7.9%. We cannot exceed 7% of that software license.
Let the district spend the money.
But
Honestly.
this money is to supplement, not supplant. If the district
Right.
is already paying for it,
Mm-hmm.
then they should be, if they're gonna pay for it for other students,
They need
should
to
be
pay.
paying for it for our students.
Yep.
If it was something special, above and beyond and separate and specialized,
And
that was only able to our students, then sure.
And I didn't see that, did you see, I didn't see that in the notes, because I thought it was a special program that would help our Anishinaabe students,
I think
see
it's-
themselves as, see workers.
I think it's what they use to do the learning plan.
Yes, that's how it was
Okay.
described to me.
So take that.
Yeah, I
That
should-
has to be taken
I
out.
should have questioned that, and I apologize. for
Nope,
that.
that's okay.
I did have questions
You
about
have
that,
done a lot.
because
This
it's
is-
in the budget.
Yep, it is in the budget. I saw it. I've been trying to question it for a while.
Okay, so let's, I have a big star on that one. whether.
Jen had-
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Can I make a, if you talk to Danette Sabot,
Mhm.
she'll probably know maybe the history of it,
Of the
you know,
career.
of that career exploration software.
Mhm.
She would be able to.
SIB.
SEBOE. Danette.
And don't forget, we have till Friday, so. Okay, so can we move into area 2, and so we'll come back, to that when we do the budget?
Okay. Just- One other thing, as far as in the funding request to cover the cost for, that's where we need to be really specific about supplies and materials. Supplies and materials for ACT prep, supplies and materials for college visits, and supplies and materials for this career expo. Transportation, meals for, same thing. Okay.
$36 now. You said 35, that was 36.
Are our current graduation rates out?
They come out for like, graduation rates are like a year or two behind when they report.
Yeah, I know. But usually they're out by springtime, or, you know, I know it's usually it happens after. I was just asking the question if if anyone knew graduation rates were out yet.
Don't make me cry again.
Yeah, this goes by last year's. So are we okay with moving to number 2?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So support the academic achievement of American Indian peoples. So the first one is to increase the graduation rate. By the end of the school year, American Indian students' graduation rate will increase from 48% to 50%. AIPAC, American Indian Education Coordinator, and homeschool liaisons will track and monitor our AI graduation progress and success.
Let's go to 110. What are you doing?
Is everybody?
I think that with how much time we have left in the year to implement new programming and supports, I feel like a 2% liaisons could get those kids that are on the edge across the stage at this point. I feel like asking for more when we haven't implemented anything that would reflect a higher increase at this point. I think next year's plan, we could, go for more than 2%, but I just think with the time we have left, just really focusing on those students who are on the edge right now. That the liaisons identify who's there and like, what do we gotta do? What creatively can we do to get our students?
Yes.
For things that
What extra services can we offer? Who can we pull in to make sure those that are even close get the supports they need to get across the stage? Go ahead.
I had the opportunity to be in space with Dr. Mary Owen, and she said, look at how many potential students can graduate, and then look at what like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% increase would actually be.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when we talk about numbers, percentages like from 48 to 50.